The story begins with Detective Inspector Lee of the Hong Kong police force leading a raid at the wharf to arrest Juntao, a notorious crime lord who has stolen many Chinese cultural treasures. However, Lee only manages to capture Juntao's right-hand man, Sang, who escapes with a boat. Lee returns the stolen artifacts to his superiors, Chinese Consul Han and British Commander Griffin, who are about to leave Hong Kong due to the handover to China. 2 months later, in Los Angeles, Han's daughter Su Yung is kidnapped by Sang on her way to school. Han calls Lee to help him find his daughter, but the FBI does not want Lee's involvement and assigns him to LAPD Detective James Carter, a loudmouthed and reckless cop who works alone. Carter is supposed to keep Lee away from the case, but Lee escapes from Carter's custody and goes to the Chinese consulate, where he meets Han and FBI agent Russ. Carter follows him and accidentally negotiates with Sang over the phone, agreeing to pay $50 million ransom for Su Yung. The FBI traces the call to a warehouse, where they send a team of agents to rescue Su Yung. However, the warehouse is rigged with explosives and all the agents are killed by the blast. Lee and Carter spot Sang nearby and chase him through Chinatown, but he gets away. They then interrogate Clive Cobb, a bomb expert who sold the detonator to Sang, and learn that he met Sang at a restaurant called Fu Chow. Carter goes there alone and finds a surveillance video of Juntao carrying Su Yung into a van. He also recognizes Juntao as Griffin, who is actually a corrupt British diplomat who has been working with Juntao for years. Lee joins Carter at the restaurant and they watch the video together. They realize that Griffin is behind the kidnapping and that he plans to use Su Yung as leverage to get back his stolen artifacts from Han. They also learn that Griffin is hosting a gala at the Los Angeles Convention Center that night, where he will auction off his collection of Chinese treasures to other criminals. They decide to crash the party and rescue Su Yung. At the gala, Lee and Carter disguise themselves as guests and infiltrate the event. They spot Griffin and Sang on stage with Su Yung in a van behind them. They also see Han arriving with a briefcase containing $50 million in bonds. Lee and Carter split up and try to reach Su Yung from different directions. However, they are discovered by Griffin's men and have to fight their way through. Carter manages to get inside the van and free Su Yung, while Lee confronts Griffin and Sang on stage. Griffin reveals that he has rigged the entire building with explosives and threatens to blow it up if Han does not give him the briefcase. Han refuses and throws the briefcase at Griffin, causing it to open and reveal that it is empty. Griffin realizes that he has been tricked and orders Sang to detonate the bombs. However, Lee shoots Sang before he can press the button. Griffin then grabs the detonator and runs away with it. Lee chases Griffin through the building while Carter drives Su Yung out of danger. Lee catches up with Griffin on the roof and fights him for the detonator. Meanwhile, Carter crashes into a concrete barrier outside and drops his gun. He sees Sang crawling out of the van with another detonator in his hand. He runs towards him and kicks him in the face, knocking him out. Lee manages to overpower Griffin and take away his detonator. He then throws him off the roof onto a power line below, electrocuting him. He then reunites with Carter and Su Yung on the ground. Han arrives and hugs his daughter, thanking Lee and Carter for saving her life. Russ also arrives and congratulates them for solving the case. The next day, Lee prepares to return to Hong Kong while Carter says goodbye to him at the airport. They exchange gifts. Lee gives Carter a jade pendant that belonged to his father, while Carter gives Lee a Lakers jersey signed by Shaquille O'Neal. They hug each other and part ways as friends.